Let's turn it over now to Representative Mike Kelly. He joins us live now, the congressman from Pennsylvania. Congressman, good of you to be with us here. See you there from the halls of Congress. You just heard us probably talking about what Ron DeSantis wants to do with the DOJ and FBI. He has called on Christopher Wray to resign, or at least said day one of his administration, Wray would be out of there. Do you think Christopher Wray, the FBI head, should resign?
Well, you know, I'm not going to weigh in on that because I mean that's I think it's for the people to take a look at. I just know this: the faith and trust and confidence that the American people need to have in our system is fading very quickly. And when you look at the double talk, and if it wasn't for a double standard, there'd be no standards at all. And with this Biden Justice Department, I think it's pretty obvious to almost all of us. It has been weaponized now. It is a political weapon, and I think that's for the American people. They see this. I know I'm a big supporter of President Trump. I'm from the private sector. I always thought you need to get somebody from the private sector because they know how to run things. They don't have unlimited borrowing, and if they can't borrow it, they can't print it themselves. That's counterfeiting. We've seen what's happened. Inflation, where I'm from, is a huge issue. And people keep looking at it. It's from January of 2021, whenever the president came into office. I'm talking about President Biden. And inflation is like at 15%. Now, when they talk, they almost go down to week over week, maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to get to the economy here and all that. I know it's something that you're passionate about, but you talk about the double standard.
Yeah.
What is the double standard as you see it?
Yes. Well, I think any clear-thinking person would take a look at it and say, okay, so it just seems to me that since President Trump, when he was candidate Trump, coming down from the day he came down that escalator to today, he has constantly been fighting. People are saying, well, he did this, he did that. And you look at what other people do, and it's like, well, we never really looked at anybody before. The 45th president of the United States is now the punching bag for everything that happened. 44 presidents before him never, ever had to answer any of these charges. Nobody ever had looked through their apartment. Nobody ever looked through their wife's closet. Nobody ever brought issues up that nobody had brought up before. It never happened with President Obama. Never happened with either of the Bushes. I mean, so why is it so different now? And the answer is,
as you see it, did he commit any crimes as you see it?
I think
we've looked at the indictment.
Well, I think we'll take a look. I haven't looked at the indictment. I'm just used to every day open up the newspaper and find out that all of a sudden this Justice Department has found something wrong with the Trump presidency, with President Trump himself, with the Trump family. I think when people look, if you want to put two families against each other and look at which one would you rather hang out with?
Why haven't you read the indictment?
I'm not on that. How would I do what?
How come you didn't read the indictment? It's public, it's out there. How come you did not read it? It's public, it's out there, it's for anyone to see.
Because I've been, you know what? There's a Justice Department that will handle it. I don't have much faith in that. We were working on ways and means. We're looking at different issues when it comes to trade. We're looking at different issues when it comes to Taiwan. So my main job, but now when I'm here representing 750,000 people back in Pennsylvania, is to make sure that the committee I'm on, that I'm doing the job I should be doing. I'm not a political activist. I'm a representative, and I think that's the best stance you can take. A lot of this other stuff is great feeder stock for people in the media, and they want to know this, and this, and that. How do you feel? And here's how I feel. I just think the facts speak for themselves. The pursuit of this president is unprecedented. And I think everybody that's looking at that, the people that don't like the president say, well, he needs to be held accountable for this. The people that do like the president say, in spite of all this stuff, I'm still going to back him. I'm one of those people that's saying, why now? Why now? And the timing on these things is pretty uncanny. I think people looking at that would say, I think we see something that's amiss here.
All right, Congressman Kelly, thank you for your time. Got to leave it there. I appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
You bet. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.